What is up, guys? Purple Beats here, and welcome to another video where I'll be talking about stuff. Because that's what I do. Sorry about the lighting, it's actually nighttime. I usually don't do videos at nighttime just for the sole purpose of the lighting. But I just really wanted to get this out, and I wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat 11. So if you guys don't know, the closed beta has actually made it.
So this is a Mortal Kombat game, so you expect the fighting to be brutal. MK11 sees the return of Baraka, who was a fan favorite from Mortal Kombat 2. So let's see some of the moves he does here.
And the reveal event has actually happened. It happened on the 17th, happened in London, and it happened in California. Now, special YouTubers got access to it, and I think a couple people got to actually pay their way. I think it was like London, I believe. It was either London or California. I'm not real sure who actually got, people got to pay to actually get in there. But other than that, it was meant to just be for like YouTubers to show their love for the game and show their first impressions and beta test it. A little facts about what it is. I know that this is a beta and it's subject to change, but this is my actual reaction to what the beta has actually shown us and what other YouTubers have said as well. Not all mine, you know, there could be like in a bunch of like community ideas as well as my own, but today I just want to talk about what I think about this game right here. First off, we're going to talk about the characters that have gotten revealed. So we have Baraka, this dude right here, which he actually died in MKX, which I was so surprised to actually see him back, which was actually pretty cool, I guess. Then we have Sonya, voiced by Ronda Rousey. I actually don't mind this. She actually does a great impression of like what Sonya is actually supposed to sound like. You know, a lot of people were up in arms about this for little to no reason. I think she does a good job voice acting wise, and I know that it's only going to get better as time progresses because this is, again, a beta stage. Her face is a bit wonky, but if you guys remember back in the Injustice 2 days, Cosmo will put an image of what their faces look like. They looked wonky too. You know, so Sonya, Injustice 2, old beta footage. So you can kind of see a correlation there. They're both, you know, the faces are wonky, but Injustice 2 definitely fixed itself once the game actually came out, rather than what the beta looked like. We also got Scorpion. His new design looks sick. I think that he's actually the most powerful he's ever been.
Sub-Zero is not to be trusted. His word has proven good. He lays the foundation for treachery.
I think that he's one of, you know, the most powerful he's ever been. Now, this is where my praises for the character stop. They changed his voice actor. Now, like everyone, I didn't really care about it too much. I figured, hey, you know, that's the company's choice. But now that I've actually heard it, it's kind of hard to unhear. They made him switch to more Japanese voice rather than the Scorpion that we're used to. So, MKX Scorpion.
You do not beguile me. My reflection speaks and combats you as well.
And now MK11 Scorpion.
Sub-Zero is not to be trusted. His word has proven good. He lays the foundation for treachery.
There's a difference. There's a difference. I mean, of course I understand why they would want to make him more Japanese, but at the same time, we've had, you know, that this voice actor's voicing Scorpion since all the way back since Mortal Kombat vs. DC. And I kind of grew up with that voice of Scorpion, so it's kind of strange that they would change that voice specifically. Especially if that's like the face of their game that has been for years. Why would they change this voice? Like I said, this is just a petty thing. This is just kind of like me saying, hey, why was this decision made? I don't really care either way. I know I'll grow attached to it either way because it's Scorpion and Scorpion's a badass. He might not be my favorite character, but definitely one of my favorite characters. I know I'll grow on it, but it's weird to hear Scorpion after I've been playing, with the other voice actor for so long. And even back in the days, whenever voice actors would change, it would be so subtle that you really never notice. This one I notice. This one I notice a lot, and it's gonna be hard to unhear. Now we got my main Sub-Zero, looking awesome. I do not like his default. I don't like his default at all. The hat's weird. I know they're trying to get like a Mortal Kombat 4 kind of vibe, but at the same time, I like the classic ninja look of him better. That's just me. Of course, there's always going to be other gear that come in it too. I think that his voice actor is the same. I'm not quite sure. It could be different, but at the same time, it doesn't sound different from like Injustice 2 or MKX for that matter. I think he's the same, but if he is different, then that's how you switch out voice actors. Because I couldn't even notice it if it was a change. And then we got Garrus, the new character, coming in. Honestly, I like him. I mean, Tremor was one of my mains back in MKX, so seeing like Tremor, how he plays, and then going to see this new character, Garrus, I think I'll like Garrus. I think I'm gonna like him since I liked Tremor. I really liked Tremor back in MKX. I think he was one of my favorites because I like the elemental aspect of him, and I hope that Garrus gets the same treatment. Kind of like elemental. Well, at least if not elemental, just kind of give him more of like the sand vibe and or more of the time vibe. That's kind of cool. Although his blood looks like Gatorade, it's kind of weird. But it's weird, and I like this character. I think that this character is really cool. And honestly, last but not least, a requested character that is finally back, Scarlet. Now, I remember Scarlet being in MK9 as in the Complete Edition. That's when I started playing. I know. Hey, hold on. I didn't start playing Mortal Kombat seriously until MK9. I have played the other ones, it's just I haven't played it seriously until MK9. And I remember that she was one of the characters that was a DLC, and honestly one of my favorite DLC characters in an MK game, and I'm glad to see that she's actually getting love in this game. Like, she's finally here, she's finally a established character, not like Ermac was. Ermac actually turned into an actual character. It was about time that Scarlet did too, because she was, I think it was Ultimate MK3 that she was supposedly leaked or whatever, and people, you know what I mean, did the same thing they did with Ermac to her. They kind of took Katana and did a color flip, which was pretty much red. And then they actually took that in MK9, and the amount of skin that is shown. But I'm glad to see that, you know, in this one she's not showing too much skin, which is fine. I mean, you know, it's cool. I would like to see some other customization for Scarlet, because whatever we've seen in the beta, I didn't really like her outfits too much. I think it was pretty cool. I dig the short hair. It's just, I didn't like her gear. It reminded me too much of like especially Catwoman for some reason. I don't know why. It's just some of the Catwoman Injustice 2 armor looks a lot like what Scarlet is wearing, and it's just, you know, it's hard to break that image. I hope that they do have more skins in the... I know they are going to have more skins, but yeah. But those are all the characters that we got to play as. We got to play as Sonya, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Garrus, Scarlet. Those are the 5 that have been revealed. And there are actually more characters that have actually been confirmed, but not confirmed. Like Johnny Cage, Kano, Cassie Cage, which is in a trailer, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Katana, Rain. You know, just these characters that have been in the talks pretty much have been confirmed. You know, especially since Rain was such a requested character, since he got love in MKX, but you weren't allowed to play as him, even though they had his movesets already in the game. I know he wasn't a full character, didn't have an X-ray or anything, but At the same time, I feel like he should have been able to be playable because he was in the story. That's another thing. In MK11, everyone that is in the story, you will be able to play as. And I think that's a great step, because I remember in MKX, there were a lot of characters you could not play as, especially Baraka, Rain, Sindel. There's probably a couple more I'm forgetting. But those, for example, like, they were in the story and you got to see them fight. Tanya was in it, but she actually became a character. But it's just like, well, Rain, Sindel, Baraka, these guys, you know, they were in the game, they were fighting, you fought them, yet they weren't characters. And that, luckily, we won't have to deal with that in another game. But like I said, guys, the faces will change, and if you guys see the story preview, Liu Kang's face don't look right. I'm sorry, Liu Kang does not look right. It don't. And just some of the beta footage, it's like their faces are all wonky, like especially Sonya's. Sonya's face looks a bit wonky. But I know that'll be fixed. Gameplay. So, gameplay I was really impressed with about how far they've actually came, considering it was an October build of the game that the closed beta was actually taking place at, and that's what they were playing on. I do have a couple of grievances with the gameplay. I feel like it's too slow, and that's what the whole Mortal Kombat community is talking about right now, especially coming off of the heels of Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat X. This feels really, really slow and not as fluid as... I mean, the hits and the combos are fluid, but the movement just, especially since there's no run button and the dashes don't go as far as Injustice 2, it feels really, really slow, and it feels really sluggish. I won't drag on about this because I'm sure you guys have heard it before. Movement speed. Now, a couple people have actually said it, but not enough people have said it. Why did you change the advance move button? I mean, because it's so complicated to do advanced moves, and I know Ed Boon's thinking about changing this, which is, thank God, because that would be so frustrating and so infuriating just to learn it again. Why not just have it again? You know what I mean? Why not just have it as the block button again to enhance it? And I hope they do it. It's just, it's completely nonsensical to have it in this way. Like, one of them will be like, you press forward and then square. One of them is you press back and R1 or whatever the hell you want to say. It's just, it's redundant, it's stupid, and why? Like, there's no real point to have it other than, yeah, we want to make this more complicated for the player. It's just that. Fatal blows rather than X-rays. I'm a big fan of the fatal blows. I think that it's a great system. I think Super said it best. Just strategy-wise, I think that going into combos and ending it with a fatal blow and a crushing blow, replacing kind of X-ray as well. X-ray has been turned into two blow systems, which is the crushing blow, which is pretty much if you do a move over and over again. I don't really know how to do the crushing blow. I'm actually not sure, but it seems like if you do a move X amount of times, you get a crushing blow, which is pretty much like an X-ray sequence, which actually doesn't take away from the gameplay, it just makes it better. And then if you're down to 30% health, you get to use a fatal blow, which I think would be pretty cool to come back, especially if you're getting your ass kicked. A fatal blow can get you out of trouble, but the thing is, you have to save it. If you use it, you can't use it anymore. It's like you get one per round. One per match. And I think that's the best thing to do, since, you know, you don't want people abusing the fatal blow, and it would get old after a while. So I do think I like the fatal blow and I like the crushing blow system a lot more than X-ray, just because I feel like there's a lot more strategy that's done with this. If Cosmo didn't already show it, here's Baraka's fatal blow. Here's one of Sub-Zero's crushing blows.
The game will zoom in and give us all a gory close-up of the damage inflicted. But
pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with this. My biggest problem would be, you know, the advanced moves. Graphics. Coming off of the heels of Injustice and Mortal Kombat X, the graphics look a lot like they're going towards more of a Tekken vibe than what they did with X and Injustice, because they were more realistic. I remember Mortal Kombat 9 looked like animation, and well, we all know why. but you know, because that looked like animation and kind of comic booky. This one looks a lot. The Mortal Kombat 11 looks a lot more Tekken-y. If you guys don't know what Tekken is, here's like a glimpse of what Tekken looks like. Kind of like Street Fighter. But that's what this new game's starting to look like, graphics-wise. It looks a lot like Tekken. And, is that a good thing? I don't know. I know that they're trying to stylize it again because Mortal Kombat X, was so dull, but it was realistic. So just coming off of the heels of that, it's weird to see this, comic booky Tekken vibe to it again. I don't have a real problem with it. It was just jarring when I first saw it. Of course, the graphics look beautiful, especially for an October build of the game. It looks beautiful. My only concern is this what the final product is going to look like? Because if so, if the faces stay the same that they are, that's going to be a real turnoff for me because the faces don't exactly look right. I don't think that the faces look good. I don't think that they're going to stay the same. I think they're going to change it. But honestly, I feel like they need to at least bump up the graphics just a little bit because some of the particle effects are really there. One of Scorpion's fatalities doesn't look as good as it should. The one where he like blasts through them with the fire.
Fatality.
It looks choppy. It looks like one of the fatalities from the MKX mobile game. And of course, it's an October build. So, of course, these things are probably going to be hammered out and ironed out and just, like, done better with. So, I don't have really any worry that it's going to get better. It's just kind of my concern. But yeah, it looks a lot like Tekken. Which is not a bad thing. I like Tekken in general. It's just to see them go from realistic to more stylized, comic-y, you know, form. It's kind of weird to just see that switch, which is not a bad switch in any means, but good. The new gear system. I like the new gear system. If you guys remember in Injustice 2, they have a whole gear system. And this one they have it too, but it's not like Injustice 2. The gear has no stats on your character whatsoever. It's purely cosmetic, and skins are actually still in it. So you can change your skin, you know, your body type skin, base skin, and then you can do things with the skin, whether it be, you know, mask and your weapon and shader. And that's basically all you can do, and I think that's a great step. You know, different gear, different characters, different shaders, even though it's weird to see a green Scorpion. To each their own. Who wanted a green Superman to begin with? So, you know, people still used it, though, in Injustice 2, and I'm like, why do you think that looks good? But people have their own taste. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm more of a classic, kind of keep it classic person. So, that being said, you know, I don't have a problem with this new gear system, especially since you get to choose almost everything. There's a hint. I think you're going to be able to choose your own fatalities, considering that's in the customization window. I think there's going to be, like, certain fatalities you can choose and alter out, which is going to be amazing. You get to choose your entrance, and you get to choose your outro. And there's a slot system a lot like Injustice 2, where you get to choose your slots. I think we should have a lot more than 3. I'm just saying maybe 4 or 5, because 3 is a little bit too much, like too less than what we'd be comfortable with, at least for me, because I know we have like 3 variation slots, but at the end of the day, it's just, I think we need at least 1 more. But with those thoughts aside, the customization, the gameplay, and everything, I think that this game is going to be good. I honestly think that this game is going to be good, and I cannot wait to see and play it myself, and the changes. My biggest concerns would be Scorpion's voice, you know, the faces, the general feel of the game, advanced moves, and, well, that's about it, actually. Everything else I'm really excited for. I think it looks really good. I think the moves look good. I think the story is intriguing, especially with Chronica and the timelines and everything like that. But yeah, at this last section, I'm gonna give the beta. It's really good. It's a great start. About a 6 out of 10 for the beta. How I feel about it, 6 out of 10. Could use some work, but I know that they're going to, so that point's probably mute. You know what I mean? Or moot, sorry, not mute. And this last little part I'm going to dedicate to who I want to see in this game. I want to see Kung Jin, Takeda, Cassie. Nothing against Jackie, just because I don't really like the character of Jackie, mostly because the spam on X. Really? I would also love to see Kenshi, because he was one of my mains as well in Mortal Kombat X, and I would love to see him again. You know, he doesn't have to be in it. I admit he does not have to be in it, but I would love to see him just as a possibility. Rain, of course, I know that he's already confirmed, kind of, but I would love to see Rain. He was one of my mains in Mortal Kombat 9, so I would just love to see him again. I would love to see at least one of the cyborgs return. Or maybe even Enigma, which is pretty much Smoke, but in Revenant form. I'd love to see Smoke return. Like, I missed him in Mortal Kombat X. I think that Smoke needs to return in this one. If not, the Noob Saibot, of course. If not Smoke, Noob Saibot. Or Noob Smoke. Can we do that? NetherRealm? Can we get Noob Smoke? I don't know. Honestly, it's just, I want to see those characters. Especially Noob Saibot. I would love to see him in this game. But that's my thoughts on the beta. Let me know what you guys think down below. Those are just my little grievances with it. I cannot wait to get my hands on this and actually record videos for you guys. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. And you'll be next.